how polite are you when you prompt the model? Do you just ask it a question, or do you put please and thank you and other things around it?
I don't tend to use please and thank you around it, because I know some of the models I use, they are using human reinforcement learning. Maybe they have a staff to do it, or maybe they are using it from the wild world as the user. So when they do something really good, I would at least acknowledge, yes, that worked, so that it gets recorded for future training, that they went down this path and they found a solution which really worked. I don't leave it hanging. That's on my personal preference as I'm thinking through the problem. If I were to collect the data, I would ask the users to kind of, if you don't give a thumbs up, I'd just say that that was a valid solution. It worked in that scenario, because that could be lifted to fine tune the model or retrain the next version.
So do you actually, because most of the public tools, so like OpenAI and all that, they give you a thumbs up or thumbs down ability for an answer. Do you actually do that?
No, I don't do that. I mean, that's a more of a binary, because I feel often the feedback needs to be also a higher bandwidth than yes and no, 0 and 1. Yes, that worked, but did you think of this, right? So it knows that, because ultimately, if you look at it, they would map it to a cost function between 0 and 1. So it's not always binary. It could be 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, and so on and so forth. So the input being binary is just more challenging for a data scientist to kind of use that, right? Versus if your continuous input is, okay, I got to adjust the weight slightly, not drastically, kind of in a simplistic terms. Tend to put the input in a more on a spectrum rather than thumbs up and down kind of a thing. I have the same problem with they give you two choices often in ChatGPT, version 1 and version 2. It's again binary, select one between the. It's probably because they are using some kind of a recommendation system model underneath.